What is going on, guys? Good morning. Hope we're having a great Monday so far, and this is when the video is going to drop. I'm just going to be doing another solo playthrough, play-by-play. This is a recording though, so don't mind. I am just voicing over this recording, but if anything, let's get right to it, guys. All right, so we're gonna be dropping down. Let's see. Looking at the flight path, I'm just trying to think of like what I was thinking of in that situation and just kind of giving my additional insight. So it's a voiceover of an observation of myself. So it's gonna be a little weird, but I hope we're sticking around for the ride and let's enjoy this game. Okay, so we're dropping on the search, going down. Currently at 85 ping. Unfortunately, because I am a white player, the lowest ping that I could actually realistically get is 50 ms, so 86 ain't too bad. Right, we got our search, going around, getting looted up, getting our weapons. Looks like we're getting a moment to take a break, examine the area. Main thing what I like to do is when I stand still and I aim is I like to hear footsteps, right? Any type of footsteps in the at least surrounding area to know that either I'm alone or not alone. Continuing loot, guys. We got a good SMG, good secondary. We got 5 armor plates, 3,000 cash, so cash is already looking good. Yeah, as you can see with my specific movement, my gameplay, I'm sure there's a lot of players who move like this too, but I'm constantly sliding. There are rare moments where I don't slide and I just start running. That's going to be when I'm running long distances, but when I'm always in a close-knit area where I am going to be engaging with a fight, I like to slide cancel because who knows? I'm always going to get caught off guard by someone camping, by someone trying to aim me up with a sniper. I want to at least make it hard for them to hit me. That's my main reason why I keep moving around like that. It also builds up a lot of momentum. If you've noticed, if you kept trying to slide cancel, the way that you move around the map, it keeps you focused, it keeps you hyper alert. So that's another main reason that you should be moving in this specific way. Right, money's looking really good. We're at 7,500. Plate's still full. I got an armor box ready. Boom, second scav already done. Okay, so this is what we did. So main like utilities that I like to use is gonna be this drone as well as heartbeat. What I really like about Verdansk and it really brought back the use of the heartbeat. Back then, a lot of people used to complain about the heartbeat. You know, it's like, oh, why are you gonna be using the baby monitor? But honestly, if you are playing legit, if you are playing without cheats, you don't have walls to help you. You don't have ESP wall hacks to help you out, right? So any ways that you can get intel, UAVs, baby monitors, drones, you want to use it. All right, moving up, checking, making sure the coast is clear. So right over here, these long distances, right? I like to put my weapon away. And that's one of the main difference from the original Verdansk to now is this new feature where you can stow away your weapon. I don't know why it took so long for this feature to come out because Apex literally had it on Season 0. And this Season 0 came out like 4 or 5 years ago already, guys. So I don't know why it took them this long to implement the same feature. I think in regards to traveling, since we don't have like redeploy balloons and we don't have those zip lines where you can just fly across the map, this works very well to at least have additional speed to traverse in the environment a lot more faster. We see a loadout that dropped, not my loadout. Examine, take a look, take a look, take a look. Boom, I wanted to rush it. I wanted to make sure that by the time he got that loadout, I was already going to surprise him, but he already heard me coming, which makes sense. You know, footstep audio is the way it is. And boom, he managed to get that last shot on me. Okay, he had some good shots. Going into the gulag. God, I love it when you have the Strider 22 that's in the gulag. You remember, guys, based on the pistolets you have is how you can move. With the Strider, you have a 35 round mag. You don't have to worry about reloading. Just be aggressive and push that enemy in the gulag. Back in. And guys, if you notice that I am fast forwarding in certain situations, don't worry about it. I'm gonna let you know every time that the fast forward is going to happen. The reason why is because there's a lot of dead space. I was basically hanging out in this specific area and nothing is literally happening. So just for the sake of the length of this video, I wanted to fast forward to those moments, through those moments. See how loud footstep audio was? Very easy to notice, very easy to spot. Boom, secondary fight happening on top of the roof. So my main thing is I didn't want to push that, right? I just came back from the gulag. I wanted to have a better setup. I have money, so I wanted to rush the buy. I'm thinking, okay, let them fight so I can get my loadout in. And then boom, here, instead of dropping the loadout in the open, I wanted to reposition on top of this building. Boom, we got a better primary, so I stuck with that. I don't know, what do you guys think of the AK? I've been seeing a lot of people use the AK as like a secondary for their sniper. And honestly, when I've seen it used on me, TTK seems pretty fast. It's just, I don't know, the fire rate on the AK just gets me sometimes. Just because I work with horrible lag, I work with high latency, usually guns with slower fire rates is not your friend when it comes to high latency fights. Boom, got my kilo. I'm a gunfighter type of guy. I don't use overkill, but I've just been kind of balancing with it. It really depends on the situation. If I know that that's the only loadout I'm gonna be able to get, I'm gonna get overkill. Or if I know that I can get second loadout, then I would gunfighter my primary and then get the second loadout that drops on first circle to get my secondary. That way I have full primary and secondary weapons with 8 attachments. Boom, we just killed a drone. That means someone is close by operating it. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to go to the buy car, get a UAV so I can find out where that person is. Boom. If I noticed, there's a guy literally right in that same building. Boom, corner camping. Boom, easy kill. I don't know if that was the same guy that used the drone though, because the door was closed, the windows weren't cracked. The drone needs to find a way to get out of that building, so I'm not too sure. Could have been somebody else. Boom, I see 2 enemies here on the UAV. One on the building to the right and to the left. Decided to push to the guy on the right. Man, the gas grenades on this is so OP. Slows you down, throws your aim off. I literally had to get out of there. I didn't know where he went. I did not know the information, so I backed out. I wanted to get a better eyes. And that's the main thing, guys. If you've totally lost enemy location, you know, get to a spot where you know your angles are clear. Get to a spot where you know you can't get flanked from a different direction. God, I hate bouncing betties. Good thing we had a self-res. Now, I'm thinking is that that bouncing Betty was either from that guy that I was just fighting, or it could be someone else in the area. Kept looking around, still looting, And then I think right at this moment, boom, we started to hear footsteps. Or grass, so I'm thinking outside. Boom. Hit line and sinker. And that's also a reason for slide canceling, guys. When you slide cancel around the corners, regardless if you have high ping or low ping, you're going to have peeker's advantage. Essentially, the guy camping in that corner, by the time he saw me on his screen, I was already landing shots on him. Because of online FPS and because of how the game is played, that's just the nature of connection. That's what we call peeker's advantage. Peeker advantage does not work though if you don't land your shots at the very beginning. So if you are going to be slide canceling around the corners, you better be accurate with your shots when you land them. Boom, as you can see, I used that second loadout to get my my secondary with full 8 attachments. Now that guy that I just killed, he had no armor because I heard sniper shots coming in from the distance. That's why I wanted to rotate to the left. I wanted to see where that sniper was. Because that sniper was probably the one that cracked his armor and I was able to finish him. Unfortunately, I guess he didn't hear me coming in from behind. Skip that, moving in, doing supply run contracts. Boom. Very, very easy. He honestly would have had me though because I didn't see him on the left-hand side. If he had just slide canceled to the left and started beaming me, I wouldn't have time to respond. Would have been an easy kill for him. Boom, another UAV. I don't know why I totally ignored the guy that was in front of me. Like, maybe I thought he was flying in. That's why you gotta pay attention to the minimap, but guys. When you see a red dot or a red ping, you have to look at the arrows pointing down or up that shows the elevation. If it doesn't show any arrow, boom, like that example right over here, that dot, him, did not show any elevation. So he wasn't above me or below me. That means he was on ground floor. That's why I looked straight ahead. And of course, that's literally the only area that he could be coming through on the walk path. But unfortunately, because I killed that guy, the other one that I was looking at originally was able to rotate out. I don't know why I tried to buy a second self-revive. And that's the main thing that we're getting, guys. UAVs, UAVs, UAVs. If you are playing legit, if you are playing without cheats, UAVs are your best friend. You need to always know where enemy locations are. That way you can predict how they're going to rotate. That way when you rotate into the next circle, you know an idea of where they're rotating to. Boom, we have another guy here. He tried to buy a loadout. I learned from my first mistake in beating. I'm not going to let that guy grab the loadout. Boom. Semtex, Semtex, and boom, finish. Loadout didn't disappear though, so that means he still had his gulag. And he had a UAV, boom, popped the UAV that I had, used that. Sniper shots coming in from the distance, wanted to rotate out, get down, boom. So I'm using the UAV that I picked up off the ground because I wanted to get additional locations to where the enemies are. I wanted to push this guy because I knew I had this ridge to give me cover as I continue pushing forward. As long as you have a good angle and you have a good heading, you can always push. But if you're trying to push like in completely open field, like in this moment right now, very risky. Have your flashers or stuns ready to gain more ground. Or at least like an airstrike or a cluster. But again, those kind of pushes are very risky, guys. Don't always try to do that. Because he could have used his peeker's advantage and peeked right out of the rock, and I wouldn't have time to respond. Boom, I thought he was going to push. That's why I wanted to go to the left and rotate to this angle. He rotated to the right instead, but unfortunately, I was still able to land my shots and get that win. Interesting rotation though he had. He was like literally right in front of the red building that I was inside. He decided to backtrack all the way to the back barn and go to the left. Very interesting push. Use the UAV, found out this guy is moving this location. Boom. This is why you always look left and right when you're rotating into gas, into circle. You never know. There's how many times I've caught myself just walking or running right next to somebody who's also rotating in and they didn't catch me either. So I know there's one guy in that building right here. We got location. Tag them. And remember what happens, guys. When you target and tag them, they know that you're targeting and tag them. So, you know, don't think that they're not gonna expect you to come. This was actually a long rotation too, and this was probably kind of risky because I am in farmlands. There's way too many buildings that can hit me at different angles. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got 6 ways that I could be picked off. So very risky when you're rotating in this type of way. Probably what I would have learned going forward is rotating building to building. See, I was able to push this. Why? Because of all of this hay. We got all of this cover for me to be able to make this push. If it was open field, I wouldn't have pushed this building. Checking, checking, checking. I kept hearing wooden footsteps, so I knew that he's camping it up on the second floor. And boom. See, I almost didn't see that guy. I just saw like a little smidge move. That's why I love using a tracker perk. In cases where you're shooting and you can't get a good target on them, tracker perk just highlights them. Very easy to shoot. Does it seem cheesy? Probably, maybe a little bit, but hey, I know I'm not getting any younger, so my eyes ain't getting any better. I don't like doing a second or third peek, especially when they got a drop on me with an HDR. Very, very risky. Boom. Pop the UAV, find out there's one guy on top of the ridge next to the Lodi. Got a cluster in pocket, getting ready. Same thing, open field, very risky, but guess what? You know, that's the way that I rotated. That's where the circle is being pulled. You gotta be mindful of how we're moving. And boom, right on the UAV, we seen a guy rotating on the right of me, and that's the person that I'm trying to look for. Trying to see where they were running across. Moving up, wanted to gain some ground. I was really stumbled where he was, and then he ended up showing up soon. Right here, I think. Boom. He saw me too, though. He saw me too, so you know it was both open field, but unfortunately, it looks like I did have the drop. I was able to land that shot one more sooner. Boom, rotating up, and as we're rotating up, unfortunately, there was already a guy at castle, which is fine, or prison, which is fine. It's expected. That's where final circle is. Would no doubt there'd be a couple of people trying to camp up and post up there. See, stupid move, guys. Don't ever do that, okay? I'm at a lower angle, open field. This guy already has scopes on me. Very stupid move to do. And even with full plates, HDR, neck and up, you can still be one-shotted. After that second shot, I'm like, okay, you know what? I can't stay on this ridge any longer. I gotta get below him. That's what I did right over here. Got below, circle started to close in. We got 6 people left. I'm at 12 kills so far. Still in the same spot. Heard somebody drop right there. Usually at this final circle with this many people, this is where the heart starts to be pounding. Getting real nervous, getting a lot more slower, a lot more cautious. Oh, we got that guy right there for the 13th kill. We got a cluster. The cluster would have come in clutch in this moment. You could use the cluster to push people out of the tower. I heard someone drop, and it was weird. I don't know why I assumed it was some like floor above me, and that's why I was hearing the footsteps. See, I kept hearing those footsteps, and I thought it was a floor above me. I don't know where that floor is, though. Unfortunately, the steps were from behind. And unfortunately, this is how the game ends. I thought I was going to survive, but sniper got me. Kind of sad, kind of sad. But if you did enjoy this video, please drop a like on it, drop a sub to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Nobola.